Hello, boyfriend. What are you doing?
Glad you asked, girlfriend. I'm playing King Sense.
King what?
King Sense. It's a strategic mobile RPG game with engaging gameplay, a futuristic art style, and hot anime waifus, like this one.
What sense?
It's also the sponsor for today's video.
Okay.
I called them waifus, but they're actually called sensates.
What can you do with these sensates?
Well, you can engage in a turn-based strategic combat spread on a 5x9 grid with an unlimited combination of characters, classes, elemental powers, and fighting styles, as well as training and raising your waifus through an array of intimate and dynamically casual game modes. Did I also mention this game is waifus like this? That's also pretty important information.
Yes, you did. And also, what kind of waifus are we talking about?
We've got everything from lollies with glasses, ponytail beauties, twin tail emotos, and absolute godly queens. Plus, there's a bunch of amazing swimsuit-cladded beauties that are readily available for your viewing pleasure.
Amazing. I should go and check out this game in the description below.
While you're at it, you should use my code KSAnime1 to get some sweet welcome presents. Also waifus. Can
we start the video now?
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please stand for the national anthem. Gentlemen, it is time, once again, for your boy to take a bullet for the internet. Because if there's a single person on the internet that screams culture, then look no further, because you're in the right place. I've done it once, and I'm here to do it again, on a never-ending quest to figure out what exactly is culture. We got close with the last video. In fact, almost 3 million of you were there to witness the epiphany of culture that I was having. But I realized that just going through the animated variety is not enough to fully explore everything that this culture has to offer. So I figured, why not put a little bit of a twist on it to come and revisit it again. So I'm here right now, once again, back on Tier Maker to make the ultimate cultured manga tag tier list. Now, if you're not kept up to the culture, then allow the professor to explain. This is mostly prevalent in the cultured manga community, aka doujinshi. But when you go onto your favorite cultured manga website, normally people look through these things called tags. It's kind of the equivalent to musical genres. You like rock music, you like folk music, you like rap music, you like country music. Well, the same thing kind of goes with the cultured manga, and we look through these things called tags, and I have just collected just some of those tags to just show you the wide variety that the cultured manga world has to offer. Now, you're probably looking through this list and thinking, hold on a second, Mr. Anime Man, there is a large number of questions I have to ask you. Because if my cultured eyes is serving me correctly, there are a number of tags on this list that you have provided that are clearly missing. Now yes, I am aware, there are a shitload of tags out there, but most, if not all of them, are pretty self-explanatory and are pretty basic. So I decided with this particular tier list to only gather just some of the more varied, strange, weird, and very specific to cultured manga tags that you can find. This is not a video for the uncultured, ladies and gentlemen. This is the video for the cultured. So put your suits on, put your top hats on, put your glasses on. Let's dive into the culture. But if you're one of the truly cultured individuals, then you may perhaps want to go check out my Patreon, patreon.com/theanimeman, to watch this video fully uncensored and uncut. Because on the Patreon version, I'll be going into my favorite doujin websites to look up some examples, uncensored of course, so that I can further explain my cultural analysis on why I placed particular tags in particular places on the tier list. Obviously, I will not be able to show any of that on the YouTube version, so again, make sure to go over to my Patreon. For just $5 a month, you can check out this video and many other uncensored, uncut videos, so go and support me there if you like this video. But without further ado, let's just jump into it. Alright, first and foremost, we have the ahegao. Now, personally speaking, the ahegao to me is very much a hit or a miss, in the sense that it really depends on who exactly is responsible for the ahegao. And by who, I don't mean the character, but I mean the artist, because there are obviously some artists who can do ahegao infinitely better than other artists. For example, an S-tier ahegao artist would be someone like Asanagi, whose ahegals are the sole reason as to why I love his works at all. I don't know, man, he just knows how to make just that right ahegal. You know, there are sometimes those ahegals that are just like way too far and way too ridiculous, where it's like, okay, now you're just trying to like pull a funny face and make me laugh, and I don't appreciate the laughter with a dick in my hand, to be honest with you. And then there are some artists out there who have clearly just never seen an ahegal in their lifetime, where it's like, what am I even looking at? What is this, a face, or is this just like a Rorschach test? So I would personally not seek it out all that much. So I would probably have to say, I would probably put it in a B tier. Most of the time it's pretty good. Sometimes it's eh. All right, up next is Beauty Mark. Now, for those of you who don't know, Beauty Mark is, you know, maybe like a little thing right here, maybe like some cheek things right here, you know, just you know, something a little more wholesome, you know, something. This is the kind of tag that you would see just in like manga in general, right? Like this is an attribute that some people are just like, ooh, that's hot. And to be honest, for me as well, I would have to say a lot of it is hot. I'm gonna put that in the A tier. Now, obviously, I'm not going to like or dislike a particular doujin just because it has or doesn't have a beauty mark. I mean, a beauty mark tag is kind of just like the cherry on top, right? The whole cake is still pretty good, regardless of if there's a cherry or not. But, you know, if there's a cherry on top, I'm gonna eat that shit. All right, up next, biting. Now, biting as in not like the cannibalism type shit. That's weird. It's also weird thinking that there is probably an entire tag for that kind of stuff out there, which I have luckily never stepped foot into. And I personally don't have any intentions to, thank God. But, you know, maybe some like soft biting, some like playful biting and stuff like that. Hey, again, this is kind of like Beauty Mark, where it's like, if it's in there, I ain't complaining. The only time I would probably complain about the biting tag is if, you know, the majority of the cultured manga is revolving around biting, where then I'll just be like, just get to it. Come on, get to the good stuff. All right, we get it. You like your teeth game, all right? I don't mind the teeth game too, but, you know, something's gonna give, all right? Just give me a little more. So yeah, no complaining with this one. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. All right, up next, blindfold. Now, personally speaking, I'm not too into the blindfold thing. You know, I get it's got like that whole kinkiness to it, like, ooh, you can't see who you're doing it with, haha. But I've just seen way too many situations where the blindfold tag almost immediately goes to the NTR tag. And I mean, I'll talk about my feelings on NTR later in the video, but yeah, just the whole preconception of that, at least from all the ones that I have read, is leaving a kind of a sour taste in my mouth when it comes to this tag. So personally, I'm gonna put it in the D tier. Again, sometimes there's those exceptions where it doesn't go to NTR and it's just playful, but I don't know why. Most of the time it just goes in that direction. And it's like, who asked for this shit? All right, up next, body swap. Now, this is a tag that I haven't personally delved a whole lot into, just because of personal reasons. But the stuff that I have seen, but to explain, I should probably explain what body swap is. I mean, as the name suggests, body swap is essentially the guy and the girl switch places. So now the guy knows what it feels like to get penetrated, and the girl knows what it feels like to pre. Essentially. Weirdly enough, I actually like a lot of body swap regular manga than I do body swap cultured manga. Like, you know, things like Ranma Half and the recent Ayakashi Triangle are like two really good body swap manga that I really enjoy. But when it comes to cultured manga, I'm kind of indifferent to it. Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent to it. I won't skip out on it completely if it's there, but I'm not gonna go seek out that stuff. So I'm gonna put that maybe in like a D tier. I'd say same as blindfold, where it's like sometimes it's good, but a lot of the times I'm kind of just meh about it. All right, up next, bondage. Now, again, this is another one where it's like very, very specific tag for specific type of people. And you know what? If you're into that kind of stuff, I fully respect it. Me personally, not too into the bondage. You know, I know a lot of people who are into it. I'm not into it. I like the bodies being free. You know, I like having the space to move and do whatever the hell I want, and same thing for the partner. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put this in an E tier, unfortunately. Sorry for you BDSM fans out there, but your boy's not too into it. All right, up next, Catgirl, S tier. Don't complain, it's an S tier. I literally have a skateboard up there with catgirls in it, so clearly you know what my preferences are. My mascot on YouTube is literally a cat boy. It's not weird, don't judge me. There's a reason why every VTuber recently has been putting cat ears on them, because they realize, oh, this is just like a universally cute thing. People love this shit. It's not weird, it's just adorable. Who doesn't like cats? I'm allergic to cats, and I like cats. So yeah, it's an S tier, alright? Even if you're not a cat person, just read up some cat girl doujins. There are some great ones out there. You'll instantly become a cat person, trust me. Not to say to do a Shane Dawson and go, you know, screw your cat or anything, right? Like, just in real life, just take care of your cats. But in the doujin form, hey, do whatever you want. Alright, up next, cheating. F tier. I am not into that kind of stuff at all. I don't know why, but every time I see, like, cheating happening in a cultured manga, and even just manga, or just in general, real life or not real life, cultured or not cultured, it just doesn't feel good, man. I am a dedicated man, alright? If I pick one person, I'm sticking to one person. And if anything, when I see that kind of stuff in doujins, it kind of just distracts me, if anything. It's like, wow, I can't believe you do this. I can't believe you would do this to the woman who is doing this beautiful things to you, right? Like what? How could you do that? So yeah, personally, not into it. All right, up next, cheerleader. Again, this is kind of like just, you know, a cherry on top. Kind of the same with the IAO and biting, to be honest. Or actually, no, you know what? It's closer to beauty mark, I'd say, because there's a lot of ones that have cheerleaders in it where it's like, damn, she cute, she athletic. There's not, you know, you gotta love an athletic girl, man. Not like that toit body, toit like a toiga. All right, up next, Chikang. I'm gonna have to put it in E tier for this one. It's just a little bit above it because, like, don't get me wrong, in real life, Chikang, by the way, means like perversion. Like, basically, like, you know those ones where like the girl is in a train and is getting felt up by like an ugly bastard and stuff like that. Sometimes not an ugly bastard, and that's why I put it in the E tier. If it was only ugly bastards that were in this particular tag, this would have gone in the F tier. But because I've seen a few where it's like, it's like kind of a good looking dude, where I'm just like, this is wrong, but it's kind of weirdly hot at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of like cheating, where it's like, if I saw it in real life and I see it in a doujin, or if I see it in a cultured, non-cultured manga, I just kind of feel bad for the girl. But then sometimes, like, there's like a weird, like, domination loss that happens, where then the girl is like, ha, reverse Uno card. Now I have the upper hand because I've got a picture of you. Get wrecked, son. It's jail time for you, buddy. But yeah, that's a very rare moment when it comes to this tag, so I'm gonna just leave that in the E tier. Alright, up next, comedy. I would honestly gonna have to put this also in an E tier. Just because, not to say that there aren't any funny doujins out there. Quite the opposite, in fact. There are a lot of doujins where I've read where the kind of slice of life elements of the characters getting together and all that is actually really fucking cute, adorable, and honestly wholesome and hilarious as hell. But then there is that weird dilemma of you laughing your ass off reading a cultured manga going, haha, alright, that part was cute, only to flip the next page to them having raunchy schmacks. Yeah, that feels really weird that I am laughing out loud with a cock in my hand. So just for that whiplash of emotions, I'm gonna have to put it in an E tier personally. Alright, up next, crotch tattoo. I'm gonna personally have to put this in an S tier. I find that shit to be so hot. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm into girls with tattoos, but like the crotch tattoo and the fact that, like, you know, the different powers that happens in a crotch tattoo. If you've seen this tag, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is like, damn. I think the reason why I really like the crotch tattoo tag is because the girls that have the tattoo usually end up feeling really good and enjoying the intercourse that they're having. And, you know, like, call me vanilla, call me basic all you want, but I like it when the girl is enjoying it. Is that a hot take? Not sure. What an unpopular opinion that the man of culture has just thrown out there. Who would have thought that men like to see women enjoying the act as much as the guy? Ew, disgusting. Ugh! But up next we have dark skin. I'm gonna throw that in an S tier. No question about it. There is nothing I like better than a dark-skinned waifu. Chocolate, caramel, it doesn't matter. If you got that little bit of brown in you, a little bit of that cream in you, I'ma eat that up. And when you have crotch tattoo, dark skin, combined with the next one, elf, bruh. I am hats off to the creator who ends up combining those three tags together. I mean, if you guys watched the episode on Trash Taste, by the way, links in the description if you haven't checked it out, then you would know that Kuroinu has all three of those tags put together, and that's why I unironically love that show. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's so far away from anything that you get in real life. Like, you will never come across a dark-skinned elf with a crotch tattoo. I mean, you probably won't even come across an elf, just in general, but you know what I mean. So maybe it's like the whole fantasy element and the fact that it is so unrealistic that makes it like extra S tier for me, but I don't know why, man. Just even those three tags separately just come out with some beautiful things. And then when you just add that, it's not even addition, it's like a multiplication. It just gets better and better and better on top of each other. Alright, up next, exhibitionism. For those of you who are non-cultured, this is the tag where a guy or a girl goes out into public and shows it off to the world. I'm kind of indifferent about this one, so I might put it in the C tier, just because some of them I'm like, okay, yeah, that's kind of hot, and then others I'm just like, whatever. It personally doesn't really excite me all that much, so I'm gonna just leave it in the C tier. Alright, up next, eye patch. Now, this one really depends on the context of the eye patch tag. Because there are some doujins out there where the eye patch is just used as a kind of prop, like, you know, say like Takana Shirika from Chunibyo, right? Like, her eye is fine, she just likes to put the eye patch for a prop. That's cute because it's kind of like a cosplay thing. And then there are other doujins that I've seen where there is a very legitimate reason as to why the eye patch is on her or his face. And it usually has to do with the lack of a particular organ in your body. So I've seen both situations of that, so I'm gonna have to put it in a C tier, just kind of in the middle, because it's like, you know, sometimes I'm okay with it, sometimes I'm just like, was that necessary? Alright, up next, fangs. Now, when it comes to fangs, I would have to probably put it in a B tier. Now, there is a good reason for this. For one thing, I love girls with fangs. Just because I find it to be really cute, you know, especially when there's like one little fang kind of sticking out. I'm just like, all right, that's you know, it kind of has like a playful nature to it, right? Like I'm about to wreck your day, but in like in a wholesome way type of characteristic when you see that fang, right? But then you have like legitimate fangs that like snakes have. Especially when you go into the Monster Girl tag, which we'll talk about later in the video, obviously. But yeah, those ones I'm just like, I can't imagine having a good time when a girl like that goes down on you. But I feel the latter is quite rare, even in the doujin world, at least from the ones I have seen. And most of the times it is the kind of wholesome, playful type of fangs, so I'm gonna put that in the B tier just because I think that's really cute. Alright, up next, forced. Yeah, you know what? Again, this kind of goes back to the whole like cheating and shikun thing where I'm like, I want to see the girl enjoying herself, right? So I'm gonna have to put it in the F tier just because, you know, personally, I feel really guilty about it when I see that kind of stuff, you know, like, I'm just like, I don't want that. I don't want that. Come on. The girl, I want to see a girl having fun, right? I don't want to see a girl not having fun. So at least give her some fucking consent. All right, up next, freckles. I personally find freckles on anime girls really freaking cute. And again, this is kind of like the beauty mark where it's just kind of the cherry on top. So I'm gonna have to put it in the A tier just because, yeah, that kind of stuff, I find that to be really adorable. All right, now we got the Goliath of cultured manga tags. And that is, of course, Futanari. Now, I will not explain what Futanari is in this video because you guys have Google. And if you do decide to go Google it, use the incognito. But this is, again, a very, very specific fetish, which I'm gonna have to be real with you guys. I'm gonna have to be real with you, cultured gentlemen. I, at first, absolutely hated it. I'm pretty sure I talked about this in a video, but it wasn't until I looked at some other artists and I just got to see more and more of it as I was exploring more and more down the cultured manga and anime side of the world, where I slowly started to be like, alright, this ain't too bad actually. I realized that the Futa tag is by far not the worst tag out there. It's definitely nowhere near the most scarring tag out there. If anything, compared to the other stuff that I have seen, which I've obviously not included in this video, the Futa tag is actually quite basic. Yeah, trust me, you don't want to know what I've looked at over the years. So I'm probably gonna have to put Futa in the C tier, just because, again, there are some absolutely fantastic Futa artists out there. You know, Boshi being an example of it. Boshi is like the king of Futa doujins. And then there are other Futa ones where I'm just like, wow, that's scarring. Alright, up next, glasses. Again, this is kind of like the beauty mark, freckles, that kind of stuff, where it's just kind of the cherry on top. If we're talking about, say, you know, like, what I think to be is the masterpiece of doujins, aka Metamorphosis by Shin Do-el, you would know that that is one of the most famous glasses characters in the cultured manga world. But regardless of that, yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. You know, if you have glasses or no glasses, I personally won't really care. So I'm probably gonna have to put that in a B tier just because it's like, again, if you have it, cool. If you don't have it, it's fine. All right, up next, heart pupils. Now, this is a tag that I feel is very specific to cultured manga, and I personally really freaking enjoy it. I'm gonna put that in an A tier, just because, again, there are some artists out there that can do heart pupils really well. And again, heart pupils indicate that the girl is loving it. And again, I love seeing the girl enjoy it. Like, that's what it's all about. I love seeing that the girl is into it, she's liking it, and that makes me feel good as well. All right, up next, horns. Now, usually horns means that, you know, they can be like devil horns, they can be ram horns, they can be whatever anthropomorphized animal horns it can be. You know, this is, again, kind of like cat girls, and elves, you know, with the elf ears and stuff like that. I find it to be really cute because, again, a lot of the times it's like, not exactly an anthropomorphized thing. It's kind of just used as like a cosplay, like a fantasy element. So I'm gonna have to put it in the S tier. There are so many like horn stuff where I'm just like, damn, that just like added to the cake right there. That was the cherry on top of the cake. All right, up next, horror. Okay, look, I'm gonna just throw that in the E tier. This is, again, a lot like the comedy tag, where it's like, I appreciate it. I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, if you've been on my channel a lot, you would know I love me some good horror manga. Like, the horror genre when it comes to manga and anime is one of my faves. But again, I don't want to be scared holding my penis in my hand. You feel me? So this is another one where it's like, just keep it separate. All right, it doesn't have to be that. I appreciate the sentiment, but it's a no thank you from me, dog. All right, up next, humiliation. Now again, this is you know, it can be humiliation from the girl's side, can be humiliation from the guy's side. Personally, I'm kind of not all that into it. Again, I like seeing the guy and the girl enjoy themselves, so I'm gonna have to put it in the E tier. Sometimes it can lead to like a hot situation, other times it's just kind of like, oh god, I feel like secondhand embarrassment. I never thought I could feel secondhand embarrassment from reading a cultured manga until I stumble upon this tag. Alright, up next, impregnation. Yeah, sometimes it's alright. It's really more so about whether they, you know, show the end results or not. I'm not going to expand upon that. If they don't show the results of it afterwards, pretty alright. I don't mind it. When they do show the results, and sometimes they do show the results, if you've read Metamorphosis, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about, then yeah, that's a no thank you from me, dog. So I'm probably going to have to put this in the D tier. Again, this is not something I would go and seek out, and, you know, sometimes the way that they structure and the way that they phrase it is just a little like, but, you know, other times I'm just like, whatever, I'll let it slide. All right, up next, 𝘾𝙪𝙧𝙪𝙧. Now, I'm personally really into 𝘾𝙪𝙧𝙪𝙧 just in, like, the anime world. Like, that's probably my favorite trope when it comes to, like, anime girls and anime waifus. I don't know, though, but when it comes to the cultured kind, it's really a toss-up. It can be good, it can be bad sometimes, though. It can be kind of boring. So I'm gonna have to put it probably in the C tier, just because it really depends on like how the 𝘾𝙪𝙧𝙪𝙧 is kind of fitted into the theme and into the story. You know, because sometimes, again, the 𝘾𝙪𝙧𝙪𝙧 might not necessarily be into it, and it's kind of just like a dead fish flopped on the bed. And I'm just like, can you interact in some way or another, please? It's weird for me. It's probably weird for the protagonist who's boning you right now. All right, up next, lactation. Yeah, this is kind of like I've seen sometimes where it's like really good, like the Fukuyama Naoto stuff that I talked about. And then there are other times where I'm just like, nah, dog. So I'm putting it in a D. And like, just thinking about it realistically, it just sounds like a mess to deal with, you know what I mean? Where I'm just like, bro, who's gonna clean up this? Who's gonna clean up this mess that you have just created? Also, I don't know why, but a lot of times, these two tags aren't together. Like, you would think realistically that, you know, if one of these is happening, one of these is on the list, then the other one would also be on the list. But no, apparently not. In the world of cultured manga, logic doesn't mean shit, apparently. I think the one aspect about this particular tag that I'm not too fond of is when the guy is like way too enthusiastic to like drink it. And I'm just like, go to the fridge, dude. There's probably a carton of milk sitting there waiting for you. Just drink that. The use by date is still good. All right, up next, maid. Ooh, now maids for me can be a hit or a miss. Sometimes the personality of the maid in the cultured manga can be really fucking obnoxious, And then other times it can be like way too cutesy for my liking. But then other times, sometimes you scoop that dirt up and sometimes there are pieces of gold in there. And you come up with a maid that is actually quite nice to read and watch. So just for that, and just because, you know, maids are kind of cute in manga form, I'm gonna put that in a B. Again, if it's there, cool. If it's not there, I don't really mind. The next one right here, Miko, which is like a shrine maiden girl that you see a lot in manga, cultured manga and non-cultured manga. I personally find the Miko stuff to be way hotter than the maid stuff. So I'm gonna put that in an A tier, just because, I don't know why, the kind of traditional look is really hot. It's really weird to visit shrines in Japan for me. But yeah, I would be more glad if I opened up a random dojin and I saw the Miko tag than the maid tag. I'd just be like, maids, I sleep. Miko, I'm awake. All right, up next, Monster Girl. Oh, now this one is a highly contested tag, even within the community. It really does kind of become a 50-50 with this one. Sometimes it's really good, and other times people are just like, just give me people, please. For me, again, this really depends on the artist. Some artists are just like, damn, I never knew I had this fetish until you drew it this way. Thank you for making me realize it. And then there are other times where I'm just like, that's this is like some weird Godzilla hentai that I'm reading. Like, this is not hot at all. For me, I have my select few Monster Girl related artists out there, and for those guys, I'm gonna have to put it in a B. Just because, again, I've read some really weird ones that I kind of want to burn out of my memory. But then there are other ones where I'm just like, alright, looks like I'm into Monster Girls now. Thank you very much. I mean, look, let's be real. I don't even think it was because of the Monster Girl tag in cultured manga that got people into Monster Girls. I mean, how many people watched Monster Musume no Iru Nichijou and was like, okay, cool, I'm into Monster Girls now. Thank you, Okareoto Sensei. I get it now. Alright, up next, Muscles. Now, this one again, kind of like the same with glasses, maids, and fangs, and all that kind of stuff. There are some situations where it's like, damn, that's really freaking hot, and then other times I'm just like, why? So I'm gonna have to put it in a B tier. I've read some pretty good muscle girl stuff, and you know, there are some muscle girls, hey, I like some girls with a bit of muscle, you know, there's nothing wrong with having an empowering woman, alright? If your lady wants to lift, you let your lady lift, goddammit. Alright, up next we have NTRF. I'm not gonna explain. If you have something to say about that, get out. Alright, we'll blast through these very quickly. Ninja, Nun, and Nurse, I feel all fit kind of into the same type of genre, where it's like, if it's there, it's good. If it's not there, I don't really care. So I feel like I'm going to put all of these into a B tier. Where, you know, I've seen some really good ones that have all of those in it, and then there are other ones where I'm just like, wasn't really necessary. Clearly, you're just trying to pertain to a particular fetish and trend, so whatever. I'll also put Office Lady there as well, because for same reasons. But then we have Ojo-sama, which is like a, how do I explain Ojo-sama? Like a privileged, like princess type character. Personally, I'm gonna have to put that in a D tier, because in non-cultured manga and anime, I am not a huge fan of the Ojo-sama character, just because a lot of Ojo-sama characters are just extremely obnoxious. Like, they're the kind of characters that would unironically wear a top hat and monocle and walk around imitating the Monopoly Man if they wanted to. I like my girls to be grounded to reality, where, you know, I'm at the same level as them, and I want the characters to be at the same level as them. I don't want to see some rich snob going around being like, okay, I will take your dick. Like, no. You come down here, young lady. Get on my freaking level. And then we'll talk about the D. But then again, I say all of this, and I haven't put it down in the E and F tier because there is one situation where I do like the Ojo-sama tag, and that is when you combine it with the Domination Loss tag, where the Ojo-sama usually starts off on top of the guy being like, I have the power. And then something happens where there is a role reversal, where the guy's like, reverse Uno card, now you're going down to the lower level. And I'm just like, yeah, you showed that rich person who's boss. I honestly like it with the other way as well, when it's the Oji-sama tag, which is the Prince tag, where it's the guy who is the rich, snobby, like, Monopoly Man, top hat kind of character, and the girl has the Domination Loss, where it's like, ha, you misjudged me because I was a commoner woman? Well, we'll see who's laughing now, motherfucker. Alright, up next we have, I can't believe this is a tag, and I just found out about it today, Orgasm Denial.
What?
Who was this tag made for? Like, who willingly wants to see guys or girls edging in a cultured manga? Who asked for this? So yeah, I'm gonna have to put it in the F tier. Yeah, like, again, who asked for this shit? Alright, up next, pegging. Alright, how do I explain pegging? Gentlemen, think of it like this. Think of just like a standard vanilla dojin. Instead of the guy putting it in the girl puts it in the guy. And no, I don't mean futa. I mean like objects. Thank you for coming to my Pegging 101 TED Talk. I will see you guys outside for signatures. Alright, let me just throw that in the F tier. Alright, up next, pregnant. No. Again, this is like, just keep it out of it, man. Like, pregnancy is a beautiful thing, I get it. Bearing a child is a beautiful act. But keep it out of my dojins. I don't want to see that shit. Put it in the F tier. Alright, up next we have 𝘾𝙪𝙡𝙪𝙧𝙚𝙪𝙧, which I think I'm pronouncing correctly. Please, Chinese people, let me know if I'm pronouncing that word correctly. But for those of you who don't know, 𝘾𝙪𝙡𝙪𝙧 is this. It's the Chinese dress-looking thing, you know, you see like Chun-Li wearing and stuff like that. Personally, I freaking love this stuff. I'm gonna have to put it in an S tier. I think that stuff is so goddamn hot. And I mean that in real life and in cultured and non-cultured manga and anime. Like, if there is any opportunity for any woman to wear a 𝘾𝙪𝙡𝙪𝙧, I'm all over that shit. And like, that dress is like, just, you know, not even looking at it in a lewd way, I just find it to be like really freaking cool looking. Like, it's so bad. It's like simultaneously an adorable costume or dress, and also just makes the girl wearing it look like a freaking badass. I don't know how those two seemingly opposites can combine together into one great looking outfit, but hey, if you want to impress me with any kind of manga or cultured or non-cultured, and there's a girl wearing a 𝘾𝙪𝙡𝙪𝙧𝙀, I'm all over it. Give it to me. Alright, up next, 𝘾𝙪𝙀, which is 𝘾𝙪𝙀 pantsu, which is this, you know, the Hatsune Miku pantsu, as weebs like to call it. Again, for me, this is kind of like, if it's there, cool. If it's not there, cool. I don't care. I mean, do we really care what type of pantsu people are wearing? Because, you know, like 3 pages later, it's gonna be taken off. I'm gonna have to put it in a C tier for this one, because I'm just like, if it's like, whatever. They're just pants, dude. They're just stripes on a pants. Why are people this, like, infatuated with stripes on some underwear? Alright, up next we have spats. Now, spats is a little bit different to 𝘾𝙪𝙀𝙀𝙀. I know I just shit all over 𝘾𝙪𝙀𝙀 literally like 3 seconds ago. But spats! Spats is cultured as hell, if you ask me. Again, it's like the 𝘾𝙪𝙀𝙀. It kind of accentuates the curve of the woman, you feel me? Like, it accentuates the butt and legs, which is just so good. So I'm gonna have to put that in an A tier, honestly, man. Like, spats is freaking nice. I like spats. And stockings, dude? Stockings? Yeah. Throw that in an A tier as well, my boy, just because, not for the particular stockings. It's that little pinch between where the stocking ends and the thigh starts, like that little kind of curve in. I don't know if there's a word for it yet, but if there isn't, please, I'm gonna call it the pinch. All right, I'm gonna coin that term, the pinch. Like, the pinch, that gets me excited. All right, up next, succubus, S tier. No questions asked. I don't care what anyone says. Succubus were made for cultured manga. I know succubus have supposedly this, you know, like folklore legend that extends, you know, several hundreds of years in traditional media and stuff like that. But if you ask me, succubus were made for cultured manga. It is the perfect type of character, archetype, and trope that just so perfectly fits in with the type of lewd manga that I freaking love. And the best thing about succubus or succubi is that you can combine any of these particular archetypes into it to make it better or worse. So it's really just expansive. You know, you can do whatever you want with it. It's like Play-Doh. All right, up next, tan lines. Okay, now this one I've thought about long and hard, because there were moments in my life where I thought F tier, there were moments in my life where I thought S tier, where it's like, which one is it? Is it so amazing, or is it just so overrated? If I'm being honest, it's right in the middle for me. It's a C tier. Because sometimes the tan lines are really like nice, where it's like, it's not too freaking obvious, where it's like, maybe, you know, it's like just like the bra line, maybe it's, you know, just the pants line, stuff like that. That's fine, you know, where it's like not too over the top. And then there are some tan lines that just look like the girl has just received 3rd-degree burns while at a beach, and she was wearing a bikini and bottom that were fireproof. So yeah, again, this is completely dependent on the artist and the situation, and just like how much of a, I guess, contrast of skin that is created during the tan line process. Alright, up next, tentacles. Now, I am sorry, Aki, I know you're into tentacles. This is going in an E tier for me. I just can't do it, man. Like, I don't know why. I wanna see some people. Not this, like, unidentified tentacle object, UTO. I wanna be able to put myself into the guy's perspective. I wanna be able to put myself into a person's perspective, not some freaky tentacle monster's perspective. Don't get me wrong, the only reason why it's not an NFT is because there are some that I have read, especially when inside the Monster Girl tag, which I've put in the B tier, where it makes tentacles just that much more bearable. But other times I'm just like, you read one tentacle doujin, you pretty much read them all. Alright, teacher, I'm throwing into the B tier again because it fits in with all these other ones where it's like a lot of them really freaking good, but again, I won't complain if it's not in it. Then we have tsundere. Now, tsunderes, for me, are a serious hit or a miss. You know, I was talking about kuderes and I put it in a C tier where it's like, it really depends on how they treat that particular trope and archetype in the context of the lewdness. But the tsundere kind of fits in the same way, I feel. But I feel it works just a little bit better than a kudere because the entire thing about a tsundere trope or an archetype is that they start off cold, but secretly they really like the person, right? And again, what have I been saying this entire video? I like it when the girls are into it, especially if they're like secretly into it. So a lot of the ones that I've seen with tsunderes in it, they're not usually into it at first, but then they grow to really enjoy it. So just for that, I'm gonna put tsundere in probably a B tier. Because again, it's like, I think it's fitted for that kind of like cultured manga world just a little bit better than a kudere. Even though I like kuderes more in my non-cultured manga, when it comes to culture manga, tsundere is where it's at. Alright, next, actually first let me just put this in an F tier, and then we have uncensored. Alright. I'm a little bit weird on this. Maybe it's because I'm just so used to reading all of my cultured manga censored, with like the black bars, or the entire thing is black, or the entire thing is whited out, that when you see something that's uncensored, it's just like, ew. Like, is that what the penis looks like? Is that really what it looks like? Did it look that gross the entire time? Put the black bars back, man. Just put it back. So yeah, I'm gonna put it in a D tier just because I think at this point my brain has just been conditioned to just ignore the black lines in doujins. So yeah, I actually prefer it with the black lines in it a lot of the time. As long as they don't overdo it with the black lines, it's fine. If everything else still looks good, I'm okay with it. Alright, up next, vanilla. Now, vanilla, you know what? I can't complain about vanilla. There is nothing wrong with vanilla. You know, we keep ragging on, especially on the podcast, and if you watched again, hentai, so go check it out, then you would know that we ragged Connor on about having, you know, really just basic taste for him liking vanilla. But in all honesty, vanilla is necessary. Vanilla is good, because sometimes you don't want to see some freaky shit or, like, freaky stuff that goes into, like, really weird territories and tags, like some of the ones on this page. You know, sometimes you just want to see two people doing the do. So I'm gonna put it in a B tier. You know, it's good. You can't complain about it. Alright, up next, voyeurism. Now, how do I explain voyeurism without getting demonetized, if I haven't already? Voyeurism, essentially, is a lot like exhibitionism, except it's the perspective from the other person. It's not the person showing off, but rather the person looking at somebody showing off, or looking at someone having intercourse, and them looking at it gets them all flustered. Basically, it's a really weird NTR situation. At least that's how I interpret voyeurism. So personally, I'm gonna put that in an E tier just because it's like, honestly bro, could do without it. Alright, up next is the X-ray tag. Now, X-ray, man, I'm probably gonna have to put in the C tier just because sometimes it's really hot and other times it's like, that is like, whoa, way too much detail. What am I, fucking witnessing a CAT scan at a doctor's right now? So yeah, if we just with like the right amount of like showing, it's actually alright. Like, I don't mind like the top-down view of like the girl, but then when it's like an inside cam thing, I'm just like, no, dude, why? Why did you have to do that? Alright, and last but certainly not least, yandere. Now, this one, again, is personally not really into it. I'm gonna put in the D tier. Because It doesn't work as well as 𝘾𝙪𝙡𝙪𝙧𝙚 in my opinion, because it usually, when you put in a yandere into a cultured manga, it usually falls into NTR, it can turn into cheating, it can go into a whole bunch of things. Also, just personally, I'm not really into yanderes just in general anyway, so I'm okay with it, to be honest. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my cultured ladies and my cultured gentlemen. That is my list. We have created the ultimate cultured manga tag tier list. Here it is. Honestly, it's actually quite balanced. I didn't take all of the tags from 𝘾𝙪𝙡𝙪𝙧𝙚 just because there are so many freaking tags and this video is already long enough. But, you know, it's really surprising actually. Like, I have, you know, some quite clear thoughts on a lot of these tags, and it's kind of all over the place. I clearly have my likes and dislikes. But I would like to know what you guys are into. I've basically showed you my cultured side, and I want to get to know your guys' cultured side, especially if you're watching this video up until this point. So I've left the link to this tier list down in the description below, so go check it out. Also, check out all of my other tier list videos that I have done in the past. Links to all of those also down in the description below. And if there is a particular doujin that you would like to recommend to me in the future, just check out the S and A tags. If there are tags on either the S tier or the A tier in your doujin, then hey, recommend them to me over on my Twitter. Go follow me there. And if you would like to support your boy in more cultured topics like this, then the best place to do it is to go over to my Patreon. If you go over there right now, you'll get this video fully uncensored and fully unedited, the director's cut version of this video, where I go onto 𝘾𝙪𝙡𝙪𝙧𝙚 and I actually show off examples of a lot of the different tags that I talk about in this video. So to get the full experience of this video, I definitely recommend you go over there, support your boy as well, going over to patreon.com/theanimeman, links down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out King Sense, links down in the description below. But it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to bid you farewell and to see you guys in the next, probably not as cultured video. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next one. Like a favorite if you enjoy, subscribe for any banter, keep watching anime. Ja ne.